Welcome to The Problematic Gaze with me, Dr. Lee Arnott.
And me, Dave Moore.
Each week we take a piece of pop culture from yesteryear, and this week we are going back to yesteryear and examine it through the problematic lens, asking ourselves the question, could you get away with it today? And if not, why not? And what does that say about society and culture then and now?
And before we take a deep dive into our chosen topic, we'll look at the news events of the day. We'll also look at the TV and film landscape, if appropriate, and look at the popular music charts, just to put our chosen topic and year into context.
I tell you what, Dave, it's a bit Christmassy in here, isn't it?
It's lovely and toasty by the open fire.
We've got the open fire because we've gone back to 1946. We've got the Bakelite cranked up, the chestnuts are roasting, you know.
Yeah, ain't it lovely to have a Christmas without the threat of war and the doodle bugs flying over?
We made it, and here we are with our wool clothes. There's no man-made fibres, there's no plastic anywhere.
No.
Gosh.
Sadly, our Christmas lunch might be a little wanting this year.
Yes, because unfortunately we've still got rationing. So we've been given a special Christmas allowance. We're allowed £6 worth of meat. And that's more likely to be chicken or beef because turkeys are very expensive. And we've been given 1.5 pounds of sugar to use. And we've got 4 ounces of sweets per person to entertain ourselves with.
Suck on those, make them last.
Yeah. So we've got plenty of veg and we've got tinned fruit, but fresh eggs or butter, not so much. Still rationed, I'm afraid.
No mince pies then, sausage rolls.
No mince. We've got a trifle. We can do a trifle. We can do a Christmas pudding.
Yeah.
And we've got dried egg powder we can use instead of fresh eggs. We've had 7 years of it so far, so 6 years of it, so we might as well just crack on.
Exactly. But what makes Christmas so magical is sharing it with loved ones, to be able to sit around an open fire and share stories about life.
That's right. Because life can be rubbish, but also it can be wonderful.
It can.
That's a nice segue, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really good. Did you make that up?
I just did it on the hoof.
Oh, so good. Improv.
Because today we are looking at what is regarded as one of the classic Christmas movies, It's a Wonderful Life from 1946. Interesting, not actually officially released in the UK until 1997.
Is that in the cinemas?
Yes. Yeah, but obviously everyone's
Being on telly.
Being on telly. Released in the US on the 20th of December, 1946. What's your relationship to It's a Wonderful Life, Dave?
I've never seen it. I've watched it now for the purposes of this podcast, obviously.
Yes.
So that was it. Obviously, I knew all about it, but it didn't really appeal to me. No, I'm not averse to black and white films. Not a Philistine, you know. I love some black and white films. Brief Encounter, Hitchcock earlies, you know, and everything. But this just, I think if you kind of miss the wave, like it's already firmly established as everybody's, well, not everybody's, but a lot of people's favourite Christmas film. And if it hasn't been yours, then you're kind of more reluctant just to dive into it.
Yes.
But I've watched it now.
Yes. Ask me.
Ask you. Do I ask you now?
My relationship.
Hang on, let me just do that again. What about you, Lee?
Like yourself, I'd never seen it. It was like The Sound of Music. I think I've seen enough of it at various times to get a sense of what it's like. And everybody knows the story, don't they? But this is the first time I actually sat down and watched it. And I will say you can get an abridged version. You can get the full-length version. We watched the full-length version. So we've done 2 quite mammoth Christmas things back to back. Yes, we'll discuss. We shall go into it.
Yes. Before we go any further, I've got a little gift for you. A Christmas gift.
Christmas gift?
I managed to scrape a few shillings together, a few coppers together, and I've got you a nice little Christmas gift there right beside you.
Look, the wrapping paper's lovely.
I know, the red bubble.
That's so lovely.
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look. I do hope you like it.
I'm so very sorry if you do.
Channeling Lady Mary Crawley from Downton Abbey.
I think it's a T-shirt. Oh, that's very nice. That's Patrick Troughton as Doctor Who in a rather fetching, abstract-looking pattern. There's nobody in the universe who can do what we're doing. A bit like our podcast.
Well, exactly. I thought it was rather apt for what we're doing. Obviously, he says it to his companion because no one travels around the universe through space and time in a police box.
Companion who's mourning her dead father.
Oh,
yeah.
It's Victoria.
Sweet little scene, yes. Sweet little scene. That's lovely. Thank you, darling.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
Good.
Nice colour.
Yes. Well, I thought so. And I got a medium.
Oh, yes.
Because normally get large because we're both kind of like, well, not large, but...
I'm always a medium.
Oh, you're always a
Yes.
medium, and I'm glad I got it then.
Yes.
I always buy a large, and I always regret it because it kind of hangs off me. It's
Right.
not really figure hugging, like
Right.
my Shady Pines t-shirt that I'm wearing at the moment, in reference to the Golden Girls. It's just a bit baggy,
Mate.
you know.
Yes, this is a medium.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome.
For those of you who can't see us, it's a lovely burgundy colour. Yes, thank you.
Now, I don't give to receive. The joy of giving gifts.
It's the look on my face.
It's the look on people's faces when they open it. Have you got me anything?
Not yet.
Okay.
We've still got a while to go.
Okay.
Although we're back in 1946.
Fine. Let's just move on, shall we?
Yes, do we just move
I
on?
really hope you enjoy that gift. Okay, so what we're going to do then?
Well, we're going to go back to the news desk and look at some of the UK events of 1946. This is actually the first... I'm quite excited about this because we've never been this far back before, back in time.
No, we haven't.
Have we? It's quite exciting, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's really exciting.
Because it's obviously been a big year, a big couple of years in the UK. We've had the war on.
The war.
And now the war's finished.
World
So-
War II, for any people
Yes.
out there, just reassuring
Yeah.
which war it was.
But the world is getting back into gear and fixing itself up. And unfortunately, in the UK, we're a bit fucked at this point. But let's have a look at some of the news. Let's cross over to the news desk, darling. Okay, on the 1st of January 1946, the first international flight departs from London Heathrow Airport, then called London Airport, en route to Buenos Aires. At the end of May, the airport is opened fully for civilian use.
I like the way it says en route to Buenos Aires. It's obviously not a direct flight at this point.
I guess. Where would it stop over?
Maybe the Azores or Greenland.
Well, it's so far back in history, we'll never know.
We'll never know. We probably could.
We could check it.
Chat
Check
GPT.
it,
But anyway, that's an interesting fact. So, yes, so that's the start of Heathrow Airport then, really.
Yes.
Wonderful. Sorry, I sounded enthusiastic. I'm trying to stay enthusiastic here because, if truth be told, I have had a few drinks last night and I am fighting.
Yeah, we did. We recorded our Downton Abbey episode yesterday.
Yes.
And got a bit giddy as we recorded it and then just carried on.
That was the case, isn't it?
What was the case?
You never learn. To our younger gazers who say, oh, when will I learn not
won't.
to overdo it? You'll never learn.
You won't.
You'll never learn.
Just go with it. Lean into it.
I'm on with ginger and turmeric today.
I'm on coffee and Coke. Coca-Cola. Not a bit of sniff.
Double caffeine.
Double caffeine.
Okay, got the little red ambulance there.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. So on the same day, which is the 1st of January, 46, the Atomic Energy Research Establishment is established at Harwell near Oxford.
So we're properly entering the atomic age here, aren't we? Yeah.
Well, this is, I suppose, this is the start of the race, isn't it? Because, it's only 1945 that the bombs dropped on Hiroshima
The year
and
before.
Nagasaki.
Yeah.
So the year before, and then that's when everybody went, shit in hell,
Yes.
we need to be in this race.
Yes, absolutely. In February, American dance craze The Jitterbug sweeps Britain.
Oh, like the jitterbug.
This new man-fangled music coming over.
Oh, I know. Well, that was because of all the American GIs, wasn't it, that came over?
Yes. Yeah. But British culture gets very sniffy about American culture after this for about
Really?
20-odd years. Yeah.
Really? Why is that?
We look down at partly because we're losing our power, so need to reassert ourselves psychologically to make ourselves feel better because America is now the biggest bollocks on the block, basically. And so we get very sniffy. Americans are so lowbrow, basically. Goes on for a long time. Until the end of the 80s, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That's interesting. You'd think, well, we're all in it together then, weren't we?
Yeah, but we'll find out we're not as we carry on with the news of the year.
Fine, okay. On the 9th of March, the Burden Park disaster takes place. This was a crowd crush that occurred at the home of Bolton Wanderers. The crush resulted in the deaths of 33 people and injuries to hundreds of Bolton fans. It was the deadliest stadium-related disaster in British history until the Ibrox Park disaster.
God.
In 1971.
Gosh.
Oh, horrible crowd crush.
crowd
That's
crush.
one of my worst fears.
Oh,
that.
can't imagine it, can you?
No.
On the 15th of March, Labour Prime Minister Clement Attlee announces that Britain is granting India's wish for independence. And on the 24th of March, the 1946 cabinet mission to India arrives in New Delhi for discussions. So this really is the beginning of the dismantling of empire. India's the first, I believe, but it's just going to carry on and on and on and on and on. And again, really damaging Britain's psyche at the time. time. How do we cope with the loss of what was once the world's biggest empire / exploitation machine?
Yeah. I mean, there's just the world order is of this last couple of years is just turned on its head, really, isn't it?
Yes, it has. Absolutely, it has.
And obviously that's going to lead to the India-Pakistan
Yeah, a year later, we'll
Yeah.
just partition. Just here's a big fat line.
Yeah.
You go this side, you go this side. If anybody's caught in it, then they get killed. You know, I think millions of people get killed. It's just
awful.
bloody horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, which is why it just really trivialised it in Mind Your Language, which is a few episodes back.
Yeah.
With the, the Muslim Pakistani and the Indian Sikh.
Yes.
At odds with each other.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, this is a real big moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, on the 1st of June, the television licence is introduced, and then on the 7th of June, television broadcasting by the BBC resumes after its suspension during World War II.
Yes, I think there's I can't remember what the exact quote is, but the presenter said something like, sorry we disappeared, but we're back now. So, I mean, no one's got a telly at this point.
No.
Tiny percentage of the population. I think it's only got broadcast like 2 hours a day. Wow. You know, it's still radio is the huge medium for communication at this point. But yeah, obviously it's going to get bigger and bigger, the telly, and especially 6 years down the line with the coronation. So
yeah, we can watch us on the telly now.
You can, in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah,
You've got
switched
the
on YouTube.
technology now, honestly.
I know.
Honestly, if we'd gone back to 1946 with those cameras on our phones, what would people have thought? We'd been burnt as witches. On the 27th of June, we've alluded to this already, the government imposes bread rationing. Now, rationing does not finish in this country until 1953, 54, I believe. So it's really still shitty for years after the war because we are on our own. We don't grow enough crops in this country to support ourselves. America has to bail us out, basically, which is another reason why we get very sniffy about them. So, yeah, rationing. I think my great-gran remembered when sweets rationing ended, and so as a kid she would just constantly give us shitloads of sweets because I think she remembered the pain of not being able to kids to eat sweets back in the day.
You just can't imagine it, can you? Having a book of coupons and stuff and just saying, okay, you can only allow this amount of butter.
Oh, I'm on airplane mode. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Hey ho.
What is the time, by the way?
5 to 1.
Oh, okay, I think my alarm might go off at 1 o'clock. My alarm might go off at 1 o'clock in 5 minutes, everybody, because that reminds me to put the lamb in. Put the lamb in, talking about rationing. I've got a lovely big juicy leg of lamb in the fridge ready to go in. We're having guests today.
Well, we've got 3 minutes. Do you want to go and do it now?
Put the lamb in?
Yeah.
No, that was just a reminder not to forget to put the lamb in.
Okay.
Yeah, that it has to go in. I've got to pat it dry and make my paprika rub.
Paprika rub.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes. Okay, what we got next then? Apologies for that little interlude. Is it me next?
Yes.
Okay, must try harder.
1st of August, darling. 1st of August.
1st of August, the Atomic Energy Act of 1946 in the United States ends cooperation between the UK and US on the development of nuclear technology.
So once again, we were all in it together. Now, see you later.
Yeah.
See you later, Blighty.
I wonder if there was a part of the US thought, actually, the UK is closest to Russia. And if things were to develop in Europe and we were still sharing all our secrets together, it'd be easier for the Russians to get hold of.
Possibly. I think, again, it's just America asserting their supremacy now. They don't need us as part of the war effort. So
Klaus Fuchs sold all the secrets. Well, he got brought over to kind of develop the bomb, the atomic bomb, that Hiroshima and Nagasaki and everything. And he was in the United States as a scientist. And he basically just sent all the secrets back to Russia.
Really?
Yeah. But I think he lived in Britain. So it's all that. It's just,
could be.
It's the start of the Cold War paranoia, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. On the 8th of September, there's a mass squat by homeless families at the Ivanhoe Hotel and other empty properties in London, organised by the Communist Party. On the 11th of October, Stevenage, a village in Hertfordshire at this point, is designated by the Attlee government as Britain's first new town to relieve overcrowding and replace bombed homes in London, because London is just a massive bomb site at this point. The new town is set to have around 60,000 residents once it's completed, and the first homes are expected to be ready by 1952. The town's centrepiece will be a revolutionary pedestrianised central shopping area.
Now,
still there to this day.
We're not far from Stevenage at PG Manor, are we?
No, we're not.
And the revolutionary pedestrianised central shopping area might have looked quite snazzy in 1947. but it's not now.
Oh God, it's really not, is it? I mean, I think it's a problem endemic to the country that all these cities, town centres and city centres are just dying on their feet, aren't they? Because it's grim. So apologies to anyone who lives in Stevenage, but it is grim. The city centre, the shops are hollowed out. It's just empty. It's
Welwyn Garden City's nice.
Is it?
Yes, and Letchworth Garden City's nice as well.
But aren't they Victorian garden cities, though?
Okay.
Fact checking.
Research. We've won an award. Best history podcast.
But this does show the problem of lack of housing at this point, and there are still so many areas which are slums, especially in big cities, that are just people are crowded well until the 1950s. So,
okay, let's move on. Something nice. On the 7th of October, the BBC Light programme transmits the first episode of the daily radio magazine programme Women's Hour, initially presented by Alan.
That's say everything.
By Alan Ivimy.
Ivimy? Don't know.
Alan Ivimy, which will still be running more than 70 years later. And then also starting transmitting is the daily adventure serial Dick Barton, Special Agent.
Yes.
I've listened to a few of those recently, actually.
You?
Yes, from the BBC archive.
Right. But yes, Woman's Hour presented by a bloke. Tells you everything you need to know about gender relations in 1946.
Then we're going to have an item today teaching you how to wash up properly.
Exactly. Also this year, cinema going reaches an all-time peak in the UK with 1.635 million admissions during the year.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it?
We're going to the flicks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because they didn't have tellies.
Didn't have telly.
You wanted to see the marvel of moving pictures, you had to go and pay for it.
Such as this film. And should we have a look at some of the other films which were big in the year 1946?
Let's do it.
Two of the biggest films in the UK are The Bells of St Mary's and The Piccadilly Incident. Bells is a 1945 American comedy drama film produced and directed by Leo McCarey and starring Bing Crosby and Ingrid Bergman. Written by Dudley Nichols and based on the story by McCarey, the film is about a priest and a nun who, despite their good-natured rivalry, try to save their school from being shut down. Sounds a bundle out.
Doesn't it?
The Piccadilly Incident is a 1946 British drama film directed by Herbert Wilcox and starring Anna Neagle and Michael Wilding and is set during the Blitz in London.
So that's interesting. So even after the end of the war, they were still making films about the war. You would have thought it was still quite raw.
Yeah, actually, you're right. And I think a lot of them are using the fact that London is just bombed out shells, so as backdrops and stuff. So
right. I wonder if it used actual footage of the Blitz.
I reckon that would have been a bit too, maybe.
This was probably a romanticised version of the war, putting that slant on it.
Yes, yeah.
He said, not knowing anything about it, just rewriting history as we go along. Okay, so there were other notable British films in 1946, including Great Expectations, critically acclaimed adaptation of Charles Dickens' novel starring John Mills and Gene Simmons.
Classic movie, David Lean, isn't it? We have A Matter of Life and Death, which is an extravagant fantasy film directed by Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger, starring David Niven.
Have you ever seen that?
No, have you?
Yeah.
Is he
dull?
Is it?
Yeah.
Is he about to face death or something? And as he goes into...
I can't remember. I just remember it being dull.
Dull. Fair enough.
Okay, Green for Danger, a film noir set in a hospital starring Alistair Sim and Trevor Howard. Now, film noirs were really popular at this time.
Yes, they were.
Because the likes of Fritz Lang was German, escaped the Nazis, moved to America, and people of his ilk were famous for expressionist films.
Yes.
German expressionism, which is kind of experimenting with light and dark and shade and everything. And they took their filmmaking talents over to the USA, which is when you get like the likes of the Maltese Falcon and other film noir, which used all the German expression
other film
techniques,
noir, such as The Big Sleep, which was out this year, a film noir classic with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, and The Postman Always Rings Twice with Lana Turner and John Garfield were also big films this year. Back in the UK cinema, we've got something called The Captive Heart, which is a post-war drama from Ealing Studios about prisoners of war.
Hue and Cry, a comedy that used London's bomb sites as a backdrop.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was an Ealing comedy.
Probably.
Yeah.
One of the other big films of the year is Notorious, Alfred Hitchcock's suspense thriller starring Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman.
So Ingrid Bergman riding hard at the moment.
She is. She hasn't been tainted by the scandal of going out with Rossellini.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a huge scandal, wasn't it?
Absolutely. That ends her Hollywood career, basically. Yeah. It's almost like there's a double standard for men and women.
Who'd have thought it?
Yeah. Now, there's no top 20 to look at.
Because no shaky.
No, not even
quo.
No quo, because the UK singles chart doesn't start until 1952.
It's disappointing.
But we have got here some of the biggest songs of the year.
Oh.
Yes, see if you recognise any of these puppies. We'll Gather Lilacs, a popular orchestral piece by Geraldo and his orchestra.
Oh, that Geraldo. It was good. Now, before we go any further with these UK singles, how would they be buying it?
What do you mean?
Is it still gramophone at the moment? Or are they played on the radio? Is the radio music
They
a
could
thing?
buy them as 78s, I guess.
78s?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why do you ask these questions when we haven't researched it? Stop asking questions of which we have no answer. We're making a rod for our own back.
Well, I'm sorry, but after sitting with you watching University Challenge the other night, where you got almost every single question wrong, and I was just watching you at a go. Sorry, when you got almost every question right.
Thank you. You might want to correct that for the record.
And I was just sat there agog, like, I mean, I know you're intelligent. I mean, you're a doctor of history, for goodness sake. But I mean, come on, give someone else a chance. So when I throw these questions at you, I'm just assuming that your computer brain.
Yeah, that I have an encyclopedic knowledge of the UK recording industry.
Yeah.
I think they're probably on 78.
They're probably on 78.
My grandma used to have a load of 78s from back in the day, with things like the Teddy Bear's Picnic on and stuff. So I assume 78s.
Right. What's a 78?
That's the old. So an album was 33.
Yes.
The single was 45.
Yes.
And the old style was 78. So that's how
78 RPM.
Yes. Revolutions per minute.
Yeah. Well, you do know everything. I will be Googling all this before we transmit, just to make sure it's factually accurate.
I mean, I don't know if it is. I'm not saying I'm an expert.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Okay. Some more songs from 1946. South America, Take It Away, an American hit that was also popular in the UK.
Prisoner of Love was a major hit for Perry Como in the US, with significant popularity elsewhere.
Popular once Perry Como.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, quite handsome fella.
Was he?
Yeah, fact-checking department.
Was Perry Como.
That's a matter of...
Perry Como attractive?
Yeah, that's a matter of opinion, though.
Yes.
I found him really attractive.
Did you?
At the time.
What, in 1946?
Yeah. The wheels are coming off. Come on, let's get it back together. Okay, I Begged Her. A top charting song for Frank Sinatra at the start of 1946. I begged her what?
I don't know, but probably I begged her when she said, no, I slapped her. The next line. No, you're Frank Sinatra.
You wouldn't say that if he was alive in 1947. He'd come at 46, he'd come and kneecap
Get a mob on me.
Yeah.
Holiday by Madonna. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
A popular instrumental track. Instrumental tracks are all the rage, aren't they? By Spike Jones.
I'll Close My Eyes, a song by British singer Dorothy Squires.
Mm-hmm. And You Belong to My Heart, a popular song by Bing Crosby.
Oh.
There we go. So a little snapshot of 1946 there.
Yes.
I mean, cinema is clearly...
King.
Yes. And clearly we've got Hitchcock now. We've got those big famous film noirs, you know. So it's become an art form in itself, I guess.
Yeah, really interesting to go that far back.
Really?
We should do it more often.
Yes, we should.
I mean, look, there's quite a range of films that we could do. We could do The Big Sleep.
Yeah.
We could do Notorious, The Postman Always Rings Twice. You know, all great films.
Great films. Very long films.
Very long films.
So let's do them further down the line next year. Yes.
Yes, because as you said, It's a Wonderful Life was 2 hours, 17 minutes long.
Yes. It felt 2 hours, 17 minutes long. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Should we get into it?
Yeah.
Right, Dave, do you want to tell us a bit about It's a Wonderful Life?
I will. So It's a Wonderful Life is a 1946 American Christmas, in inverted commas from me, fantasy drama, directed and produced by Frank Capra. It's based on a short story and booklet, The Greatest Gift, self-published by Philip Van Doren Stern in 1943, which itself is loosely based on the 1843 Charles Dickens novella, A Christmas Carol. Although it was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, It's a Wonderful Life initially received mixed reviews and was unsuccessful at the box office. The film's break-even point was $6.3 million, about twice the production cost, a figure it did not come close to achieving on its initial release. Because of the film's disappointing sales, Capra was seen by some studios as having lost its ability to produce popular, financially successful films. Its copyright expired in 1974 following a lack of renewal, and it entered the public domain, allowing it to be broadcast without licensing or royalty fees, at which point it became a Christmas classic. Right. So It's a Wonderful Life is now considered to be one of the greatest greatest films of all time and among the best of Christmas films. It's been recognised by the American Film Institute as one of the 100 best American films ever made. And it was also entered into the Library of Congress for being deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Capra revealed it was his favourite among his films, and he screened it for his family every Christmas season. Can you imagine being in Frank Capra's family? Right, we're going to sit down and watch It's a Wonderful Life again. Cheers, Dad. I just want to play with my toys.
So I'll tell you what happens in this film.
Do it.
The film follows George Bailey, a small-town man whose lifelong dreams are constantly sacrificed for the sake of his family and community. When a financial disaster strikes and George feels his life has been worthless, an angel named Clarence shows him a world in which he was never born, a bleak, broken place without his quiet acts of kindness. Realising how profoundly he has touched others, George chooses life with renewed gratitude, and the town comes together to save him, proving he truly had a wonderful life all along. What's your top line on this film?
Well, in one sentence.
Go on.
I quite enjoyed it, but it's not a Christmas film.
It's not a Christmas film. It's not Christmassy at all. That's two we've had in a row which purport to be Christmas things, but Christmas barely gets a look in.
Yeah, the other one being last week's Christmas at Downton Abbey.
Which had Christmas at the very beginning and a tiny bit of snow at the end.
Likewise, this film had Christmas, very Christmassy, the first 10 minutes.
Yes.
And then very Christmassy, the final 10 minutes.
Yes.
The 1 hour, 50 minutes in between. Bloody blazing sunshine most of the time.
Yes, and also a history of the various financial tragedies which befell America during the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s. It was a little bit, I've got to say, I was a little bit dulled by it.
Yeah.
It was a bit boring.
I liked it in a nutshell because of the performances.
Yes.
Because it was a good story.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a heartwarming tale that it's purported to be.
No.
And I felt it fell away towards the end, which we'll discuss.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole premise of this life, you know, George, played by Jimmy Stewart.
Who's fantastic.
It was fantastic.
Always good.
I forgot my original thought.
Although...
Yeah, but what was the same?
He was fantastic. He was played by Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, played by Jimmy Stewart. I didn't feel as though his performance was altogether fantastic, but that's not necessarily Jimmy Stewart's fault because this film is basically split into 3 sections when he's a teenager.
I mean, following the long classic tradition of people in their 30s playing teenagers in American movies.
And then it moved to when he was 28, and then the final act was when he was 38, which Jimmy Stewart, in real life, he was 38 as well. But then to have him playing a teenage version of the character, I just felt the performance was, I mean, obviously it was a style obviously discussed with him and the director, but it just jarred a bit because, you know, a la Grease, when you get 38-year-olds playing teenagers, it always just jars a little bit, doesn't it?
Does.
And he reminded me very much of Goofy, the Disney character, the way he kind of played it, this gangly, bumbling, goofy type character, basically. So that just kind of stuck out for me. And I thought, at first I just thought, is that just how he's going to play it the whole movie? But obviously it was just to mark like the maturing of this character, wasn't it?
Yes.
But
yeah.
It was a little bit jarring. Yes.
So it's basically just, the character starts out having all of these dreams, these huge dreams. He's going to build skyscrapers, he's going to learn how to be an architect, all this kind of stuff. And as the film progresses, he has to give up these dreams to help other people. For example, his brother, when his father dies, he has to take over the bank and all this stuff. So he's constantly, the message of this film seems to be, your dreams ain't worth shit. You need to think about other people at all times. And it's just a bit...
Yeah, but I mean, I quite liked that because I think that's one of the things that you can identify with. Everybody has big dreams when they're young. They're very kind of idealistic, simplistic view of the world. And it's the circumstances beyond his control that pull him back. The idea of family is important, of carrying on family legacy. You know, these were obviously the values of the time.
Yes.
That he felt it just contradicted his intentions and his ambitions, didn't it?
Yes.
So yeah, I did feel sorry for him because it was like everybody else got a fair crack of the whip apart from him.
Exactly.
Just because it was a good person.
Exactly. So what's this message of this film? Don't be a good person, otherwise you'll just have to give up everything you want.
Yeah. Another one of the big themes was about corporate greed.
Yes. It's quite a socialist film, isn't it? I think that's one of the problems, probably why it didn't take off so much in America, because it is socialism in action.
And it was very much kind of a David versus Goliath kind of battle between the big financiers, Mr. Potter, wasn't
Potter,
it? Yes. Who was very much a kind of a Scrooge character. If you want to talk about the Christmas Carol,
yes,
he was the Scrooge character in his counting house, counting his money, turning the thumb screws on the poorer echelons of society.
He owns the slums. He called people cattle. They're not better than cows. When there's a run on George's bank, Potter will buy out his customers at 50% of the value, that kind of stuff. He's your classic greedy, cash is king, in which George asserts the moral high ground against him, I suppose. So it's quite subversive in that respect, but to the detriment of George's happiness.
Well, yeah, it just beats him down.
Yeah, it
beats
does.
him down. Now, obviously, he finds his sweetheart, doesn't he, Mary, and it's charted all the way through the film that their paths cross and then they come back and get married. And Mary's a go-getter, isn't she? She buys the house that they want, creates this family environment for him.
She's a trad wife, though. It's 1946. They're not going to show anything else. But she is very much the perfect housewife.
Yeah.
There is no other role for her in this film apart from mother and homemaker. Yeah. And when she buys that ruined house that they saw when they're teenagers, George comes back and she's trying to make the best of it, isn't it? And that must have felt very resonant after the war. She's trying to make up this shell of a home into something that's pretty and lovely, but that is her role.
Yeah.
Mother, homemaker, that's it. She's a go-getter at the start, but again, she just has to...
Oh, yes, absolutely.
...go into this role.
That kind of subservient role.
Yes.
But, as is the case in many of these films, we get a contrast to that. We get presented with two versions of womanhood. We get Mary presented as the traditional role that women should aspire to be, and then we get, on the other hand, Violet. It's the Madonna whore complex again.
Who's Violet again?
So Violet is... she's portrayed as a good time girl. So she's portrayed by Gloria Graham.
She's the fast girl.
She's the fast girl, only interested in the latest fashions, of getting a man on her arm, to be seen to be the big I am kind of thing. So again, it is these two versions of women.
Absolutely.
This woman, she's kind of almost like seen as the fallen woman.
Yes.
And then in the end, in the dream sequence, it emerges that she is a fallen woman.
Yes. Because she's not allowed to have sexuality at this point. She'll be punished for it.
Exactly.
Because she should be making homes and having babies.
Like Mary.
Not having a good time.
Played by Donna Reed.
Yeah. Exactly. Madonna whore.
Yeah.
Twas it ever thus. Two competing forms of womanhood in this movie. We also get the rather unpalatable inclusion of a black servant, which is a little bit, for British eyes, a little bit, oh God, that looks a bit shit, doesn't it? She is the comedy Negro type. I'm putting that in inverted commas because that is what the trope is.
Yeah.
In that she's very happy in her place, the family, a bit like the relationship in Downton Abbey.
Yes.
Very happy in her place. She's treated well by her white...
But also portrayed as considered to be one of the family. Kind of vibe, which I'm sure wasn't the case. An experience for a lot of black women in these domestic servant roles.
Absolutely.
In the 1940s.
Yeah. And it's a little bit unpalatable, isn't it, for our eyes these days?
But there was nothing wrong with it back in the day.
Absolutely not at all.
But portraying a domestic servant.
Yeah. I mean, that carries on in American cinema. Even what happened to Baby Jane, to some extent, has the same trope.
Yeah, Gone with the Wind.
The classic example. Yeah, it's just I couldn't really get my head around this film, if I'm being honest. And then George ultimately will build affordable housing. Again, socialism in action.
Yes.
Potter denigrates him because he says he doesn't make any money on it. He doesn't charge enough.
But George, at this point, is portrayed to be living a happy life.
Yes.
Marriage, beautiful wife, being altruistic, community man.
Yes.
Lovely smattering of kids.
Yes.
It's about 1 million kids.
Yes.
So very much portrayed as the American way of life.
Yes, very much so. And that's being promoted after the war, especially after all these women who've been working in factories, being told, sorry, love, back in the kitchen. That's where you belong.
Because there was a sequence, wasn't there, where the war was covered very, very briefly in the space of about 3 minutes, montage, where did very clearly state all the women went out to war and helped with the war efforts, but then returned to their domestic duties.
Yeah, absolutely. But then George loses everything. It all goes tits up. Once again, George, victim of circumstance. Again, it's this film. What's his film saying about fate and the shit life throws at you? You know, because George doesn't seem to be in control of his destiny at any point because it can just go tits up. And so again, it's then the only way to survive it is to be Potter. It's really I was really confused by this film.
I mean, I think this was a weak part of the film, really. And it was quite a bit of a weak plot device because we get this build-up of something's going to happen to George because at the beginning it's explained that an angel's sent down to save him. So we know he's set up for a fall of some point. But when the fall came, I just felt it was very, very weak because his Uncle Billy, who works with him, the buildings and loan, he loses an envelope of $8,000 cash that he's supposed to pay in the bank.
Yeah.
So the story didn't give you any kind of crescendo and build up. It was just literally, oh, I've lost some money.
Yes. Yeah. It's a very sequential film, isn't it? It's just one thing after another.
Yeah. Admittedly, $8,000 cash in 1946 is 120 grand.
I'm sorry, Billy.
Sorry, Billy, but don't put it in your newspaper. I'd be clinging on to that for dear life if I went to the bank.
Cold, dead hand. Yeah, absolutely. Come on.
So obviously they lose this money, and you know the people who've invested in their business are like, where's our money, and it turns out that Potter finds it, you know, the big horrible evil money man, and keeps it and just delights in watching George squirm, offers him a job and pay and everything, which George ultimately rejects. But then we see George is facing financial ruin, and also Potter spreads rumours that he's been seen flirting or being around Violet, who is the Scarlet Woman. He starts to mentally untangle, doesn't he?
Yes, he
George?
He does. And he goes home and he kicks off, doesn't he?
Kicks off.
One of his kids is playing Good King Wenceslas or something on the piano. Donna's putting up the Christmas decorations. It's all beginning to feel a lot like Christmas.
Yes.
And George goes in and kicks off and starts throwing things around, gets violent.
Complete arsehole.
Complete arsehole.
Yeah, to his wife and kids.
Yeah.
And it was really strange the way they directed this scene and the way it was written about Mary having to kind of be compliant, having to accept that this is what her husband was doing, you know, and, you know, defending the children and say, don't worry, Daddy's just upset and all this kind of thing, where you wanted Mary to turn around and say, have a fucking word with yourself.
Yes,
what
get yourself out, have a word with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. Yeah.
But couldn't do that because she still had to serve her husband and, you know, for better or for worse kind of vibe.
Yes.
So, yeah, he does. I mean, he goes out drinking.
Yeah,
he
hits rock bottom.
Crashes his car, ends up on
in a bar.
Yeah, ends up on a bridge, doesn't he?
Yes.
A snowy bridge, ready to throw himself in the water.
Now, this is interesting because the abridged version of this movie, apparently, which we didn't want, apparently has removed all the dark stuff, which I presume is the suicide stuff.
Mentions,
so, what the fuck's left of this movie then?
What does it mean? If you don't have the crunch of it, what happens?
Exactly. But George doesn't throw himself off the bridge because the angel, and I was quite surprised at how God is just in the beginning of this film.
Yeah.
The film opens on a skyscape and stars talking at each other, representing God, I presume, and another angel. And the angel, what's he called? Clarence,
yes.
He has to earn his wings by helping somebody on Earth, in this case, George. So rather than George throwing himself off, Clarence throws himself into the water. So George has to come in and rescue him and forget briefly his own kind of despair and self-loathing and all this stuff. So, and then it transpires that Clarence has created a world in which George was never born. So instead of Bailey Town or whatever it's called, his housing estate, we go to Potter's Town, which I have to say looks a lot more fucking fun than George's. You know?
But it was portrayed as Sodom and Gomorrah, wasn't it?
Yeah. And again, what message? I suppose the message was different in 1946, but watching it modernised, I'd much rather be in Potter's world than bloody George's. God.
Yeah. There was kind of speakeasy bars.
Yeah.
People with fast and loose morals.
Yes.
You know, police patrols.
Yeah.
And everything. I mean, the crux of it is that kind of George says to his angel, the world would be a better place if I never existed kind of vibe. And he goes, right, okay, let's take you to a world where you never existed. It's very Christmas Carol at this point, isn't it?
And literally the last 15 minutes of the film just like plonked on at the end.
Is this what we've been leading up to? Because I was looking at the timer, it's like we've literally got 10 minutes left. So this seems like the third act, squeezed into 10 minutes.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, we're criticising the film. I did see its charm, and Jimmy Stewart's performance, apart from when he was a teenager, is really charming.
He's the kind of classic everyman, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not threatening. He's not so attractive that everybody feels a bit alienated from him. He's always very reliable. I love a bit of Jimmy Stewart, always. But
yeah, I mean, it was long. It was a slog. Now, this is a kind of film that you could have on in the background when you're wrapping your presents or something. Or it makes me wonder why it's people's favourite Christmas film.
I wonder if it actually is.
Was there a point where it was marketed as this is a really good Christmas film and people have just latched onto it? The power of marketing, of advertising.
It's weird, isn't it?
But obviously the clip that gets played is of him running down the street at Christmas.
Yes,
being all happy and happy Christmas, everybody.
Yes.
And the little kiddie going, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings and all that shit.
Ready to fucking put my foot through the screen by that point. So obviously, he realises that if he hadn't been born, then Potter's film, this really cool looking place, would have existed.
Yeah, but also one of the problematic elements of this film was the way it depicted Mary, Donna Reed, if she hadn't have met and married
Oh my
George.
God, she's an old maid.
Yeah,
they call her an old maid,
and she's a very bookish librarian in spectacles, very buttoned up.
Yes, clearly about 35, but looks 60.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
so what does that say to women about if you don't get married and follow this traditional path, you end up as Violet, the fallen woman who's bundled into the back of a police van for whatever reason, just for existing, it seems. Or you end up...
The spinster was the classic worst thing a woman could possibly do, wasn't it? Because you're not fulfilling your role properly.
Yes.
I mean...
Yeah, so that is one problematic element of this film that reinforces those stereotypes.
Yes.
So basically subjugates women, keeps them in their place where they're supposed to be.
Absolutely. But also the whole thing about just giving up on your dreams to make sure everybody else is okay and you don't have to worry about yourself. Great.
Yeah.
Happy Christmas.
End up dangling off a bridge.
And as you said earlier, the film was a bit of a flop. And I just wonder if after the war, people ain't interested in...
Yeah.
Because it's a shit life. It's not a wonderful life. It's a shit life George has got. I wonder if it's just people that's like, oh, God, we've just done this. Do you know what I mean? Why are we watching this?
Yeah.
The New York Times... In 2008, it's quite an interesting article talking about the problems we've discussed with this film. The quote, "It's a Wonderful Life is a terrifying, asphyxiating story about growing up and relinquishing your dreams. It's a story of being trapped, of compromising, of watching others move ahead and away, of becoming so filled with rage that you verbally abuse your children, their teacher, and your oppressively perfect wife." I think sums it up for me, really. And apparently the right moral thing to do is to give up on all your dreams and remain amongst similarly bitter, small-minded people trapped in their own unfulfilled lives.
Yeah.
I'm just not getting the Christmas love for this film at all.
No, it's because it was snowing.
Because it was snowing and she's got deckies up at the end, that's it.
Deckies up. I mean, it did look like a really romantic, beautiful kind of Christmas setup.
That's literally
a shot.
Yeah, literally it.
I did like elements of this film. I didn't like the overall message of it. Like I say, it's questionable. But I thought it was well directed. It was well shot. And I loved that by Capra. But the plot device of just somebody just losing $8,000 to propel the story forward, just thought that was quite lazy and ill thought out, to be honest.
Contrived, wasn't it? It was a convenient plot device.
Yeah, and there was the supernatural elements to this film, wasn't there?
Not enough.
But not quite enough. There was a bit at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we need to send you down to save this guy, but then we're going to spend 2 hours explaining why you need to save this guy. Yeah. And we'll just lose track of all the whole supernatural Christmas Carol element of it.
Yes. Yeah.
And then wrap it up in a pretty bow 10 minutes before the end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there were swings and roundabouts about this. I mean, I loved the dance sequence, the prom. It was kind of his brother's prom.
So there's proms, they've got the dance and suddenly the floor starts to split apart. They've got a pool underneath the dance floor. Like,
gymnasium.
Hell, this bloody school.
It felt to me a little bit like Grease.
Yes.
The dance competition in Grease.
Yes,
which I thought was really sweet.
Yeah.
I know I'm criticising Jimmy Stewart's performance at the start of this film, but you can tell why he's a movie star.
Yes.
Jimmy Stewart. He commands the screen.
He's eminently watchable.
Yeah. He's great. And then didn't Donna Reed start once she Miss Ellie for a while in Dallas for
She's
a big actor.
She was a big star as well. Yeah. Couldn't name any of her films, but she was.
I just want to talk about Gloria Graham.
Who is...
She played Violet
Right.
in this movie. So she was the one, she was opposite, the antithesis to Mary, played by Donna Reed, because Gloria Graham's kind of like a forgotten film star, but I mean, she did really well. She had a really nice career. She began her acting career in theatre, and then she made her first film for MGM. And then she got a contract sold to RKO, and she was often cast in film noir projects, but she was nominated for Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actress in Crossfire, but then later won an Academy Award for her work in The Bad and the Beautiful. So she had a really big career, and she was in a lot of really big movies. But unlike the Betty Davises and Joan Crawfords of this world, it is just long forgotten, really.
It's weird how some last, isn't it, and some don't.
Yes.
Like Nona Lloyd is kind of forgotten. Even like actresses who were big in the 60s and 70s can get by the way. So it's interesting how some continue to cut through. It's like TV shows, isn't it? I suppose.
Some just catch away, don't they?
Yeah.
And it just goes to show how fickle the industry is.
Yes.
There's a huge amount of people out there with talent, but only a handful get all this recognition and all these accolades and stuff like that.
And all the retrospective acknowledgement. Yeah, absolutely. And it's usually the blokes, to be fair, who are from this period of Hollywood as well. So apart from the big hitters like Betty and Joan. And
Yes. So let's sum it up then, shall we? Let's sum up It's a Wonderful Life up. What would you give it out of 10?
Well, listen, I gave Downton Abbey 2 out of 10 last week. Did I enjoy this more than Downton Abbey? No, I didn't. And I'm so disappointed for our December Christmas festivities so far. We've had 2 proper duds, in my opinion. So I will give this movie 2 failed suicide attempts out of 10.
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was really boring. I know. And I can't... it's not a Christmas movie. Yeah. It's a movie about a man being hostage to fortune with 10 minutes of Christmas shoved at the end.
Well, we do know that you've officially had your heart removed.
Obviously. What would you give it?
I'm going to be a little bit nicer about it, I think, a little bit more generous towards it, because I did enjoy the way it was made and I did enjoy the performances. I didn't enjoy the story as much, thought it was quite plot holy and a bit schmaltzy towards the end.
Yes.
But it did have a charm about it. So for that reason, I'm going to give it 6 pairs of angel wings out of 10.
Good. Very good. Right, well, that was It's a Wonderful Life. It's not so wonderful life.
Do watch it, guys. I mean, and gazers, if it's your favourite film, then feel free to contact us.
Yes, do let us know. And if you haven't seen it, then you can watch it at 1.5 times speed or 2 times the speed, because you'll still be able to follow the plot. Because it's really obvious what's happening.
Or the abridged version.
Yes, which has all the good stuff taken out.
Story points taken out. But yes, let's continue on aplomb, shall we?
Yes,
because let's not let the last 2 weeks with Downton and It's a Wonderful Life taint our romantic view of Christmas.
Because next week it's going to be a banger, I'm sure. It's also going to be a lot shorter, thankfully. Because next week we are going forward to 1971 for a classic slice of British telly, as we indulge ourselves in a very famous comedy double act, The Morecambe and Wise Show from Christmas 1971. I'm quite excited, actually. I think it's going to be good.
Now, for gazers of an international ilk, Morecambe and Wise were a comedy double act, weren't they? Very famous in the UK, and also famous for, at Christmas time, producing a Christmas extravaganza. It was a kind of like variety show, and it had a plethora of really famous guests, people like Andre Previn, Glenn Jackson,
Rigg.
Yes.
All the big people wanted to come on the Morecambe and Wise Christmas show, partly because it's getting 28 million viewers on Christmas Day.
I mean, it really was a national institution at Christmas time.
Yes.
So we're going to revisit one of those from the 70s.
Yes, one of the famous ones from 1971. So we look forward to that.
Yes, we will.
Very much so. God, if we can just push the last 2 weeks away and forget about them, I'll be very happy.
Well, at least you got a T-shirt out of it.
I got a T-shirt out of it. I don't know if it was worth the pain, though, darling, if I'm brutally honest.
I'll have it back then.
In the meantime, if you like what you've heard or watched, then do like and subscribe. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Podcast Gaze. You can find us on Facebook. You can email us at theproblematicgaze@gmail.com. Do like, follow, leave us a review if you like it.
Yes,
it's Christmas almost. It'd be nice.
Yes, and please join us next
week.
Next week. So I'm really flagging now. I need to go for a lie down. Don't drink, kids. Don't do it to yourself. Do join us next week then for Morecambe and Wise, and we'll have a sprinkling of problematic gazettes.
Right, I'm off to forget all my dreams and aspirations for the hope of everybody else has a better life than I do. What are you up to?
I'm just going to carry on with my wonderful life that I have mapped out from day one and have successfully achieved all the way through. And then I'm going to go for a nap because I'm hungover to shit.
Until next week, gazers, au reservoir.
Au reservoir.